I'm not trying to sell you this book, nor am I trying to sell you the laws that are contained within it. And if I'm completely honest, I don't even care if you write them down as I tell you them. There's no freebie, there's no funnel, and there's no pitch at the end of this video. But if you are a coach and you're struggling to stand out, you're struggling to scale, or you're just struggling to win full stop, then this book might just fix that for you. It certainly did for me. Okay, so the first law that I picked out is called the law of the mind, which in layman's terms basically says that people don't buy the best coach, they buy the one that they remember first. And I think that matters because it's permission. You don't have to be the best coach. You don't have to out-coach your competition. You just have to out-position them. And the goal, therefore, is to be the one that the market think of first when they realize they need help. I'll be honest, I wasn't the most skilled coach in the gym, but I made it my business to be in amongst everyone's business who was in the gym. I probably had a B for knowledge at best, but I had an A+ for the people skills and just being the guy. So long as you have a decent level of knowledge, in my experience anyway, passion eats expertise for breakfast all day long. So when I was in the gym, people would come in and I would maybe see a new bloke walk in the gym and I would do that classic white guy, I don't know what that is. I don't know why we do it. But that's hello. You say hello to him like that, and then the next time I'm like, what's up, dude? And then the next time I maybe see him, I'm like, yo, what's going on? And I fist bump him. And then the next time I'm like, what's going on? I didn't get your name, but what's your name? Chaz, nice to meet you. I'm Matt. Sorry, I've been rude. Nice to meet you. If you need any help, I'm one of the PTs here. And then maybe the next time I saw him, he was on the bench press, and I would go over and say, yo, bro, you training with your little sister or something? Where's the rest of the weight? What's going on here? And then I would chuck some more weight on and spot him and ask if he wanted help. And I'm not trying to sell him anything. I'm just being in his fucking business. And then he remembers the session because he goes home and he's like, fuck, I do not train properly. And then the next time he comes in, I'm like, what's happening, dude? And I'm not even going to lie. They would come in, I'd slap him on the ass when he's at reception. If I come in after him, what's happening, Chaz? That kind of stuff made me, obviously bear in mind that if you're male and you're doing that with females in the gym, you're going to end up on a sex offenders register and not necessarily at $1 million. So let's just be really careful that we're not blurring any lines there. But certainly for guys interacting, that worked really well for me. And being that guy and being in amongst their business like that just meant that those people thought of me first. When that guy, the imaginary Chaz, went home one night and said to his missus, I think I just need to accept the fact I need a coach. These shouldn't be like this. This shouldn't be like this. She maybe said, okay, cool. Who would you work with? He's like, well, there's that Matt guy at the gym. He has no idea if I'm the most qualified. None whatsoever. He knows I'm in good shape. He knows I've got clients that appear to be enjoying the sessions. And he also knows that I'm approachable and personable. But he just fucking thought of me first. If you can do that more often, which is going to involve speaking to people in the real world, even if you're a digital coach, that's one of the most underlooked skills, or overlooked and underrated skills in any coaching business. Okay, number 2 is the law of the opposite. And in layman's terms, it's if they zig, you zag, which, let's be honest, is a fucking peach of a sentence. Basically, don't try and outgun the market leader. You want to contrast the market leader. Make your difference obvious and valuable to everyone else. So be the yin to their yang, I suppose, in a sentence. The bottom line is people buy people. And Alex Hormozi nails this, where he talks about, be on the phone to someone and it's like, oh, I just spoke to another guy who's a competitor of yours and his name's Steve. And so you don't want Steve. Steve works in his mum's basement. Steve's a fucking loser. And so Alex knew that Steve's probably competitive advantage is that there's less people in that guy's program. So that guy can probably pay more attention to his clients. But he wants to weaponize that against Steve. So he's like, Steve lives in his mum's basement. He's a fucking loser. He's got no clients. Now Steve can do the opposite to Alex and be like, oh, you spoke to Alex. You want Alex? His program's massive. He'll not even know your name. And I think this is where, rather than you trying to go head to head with the competitor or the market leader or anyone else, instead what is better to do, and what I found works better for me, is weaponize the thing you view as a weakness. So if the other person has thousands of clients, rather than you being down in the dumps because they've got more clients than you, just be like, you don't want to work with so-and-so. So-and-so's got hundreds, thousands of clients. You'll never even speak to them. You'll get some success coach. So whatever you see as your weakness, if you can weaponize that and address the elephant in the room, but put a positive spin on it, all of a sudden now you're actually just leveraging what you have as a fucking positive, and you don't even need to compete anymore. You always have everything you need to compete. The third law is the law of sacrifice, which in basic layman's terms is to win big, you have to say no a lot more than you are now. No's a power word, and I'm sure I'm not the first person to tell you that. I know as a coach, I had lots of people tell me it, coaches tell me it, mentors tell me it, books tell me it, but it took a long time for that penny to drop. And even if we just use niching as an example here, Niching means saying no to the people who don't fit. You have a niche, so you have people that don't fit that niche. Clarity here beats complexity every single time. If you're clear on who you work with, and also by definition who you're not going to work with, then you will gain momentum much faster. And for that, you're going to have to say no to more people, which I'll be honest, I'll address the elephant in the room. It's going to take balls, not confidence, because it's not confidence that you need. It's just courage, balls to say, no, you don't fit. Because the more focused your offer, the faster it can grow. Short story here. We say no to probably 50% of the people that apply to join the Optimized Coach. And there are many reasons, but the most common reason is whenever they apply, they want to grow their business. They've passed a bunch of triage checks to get to that point. But when we look, they're not making content. They're not marketing their business. Now, the way I see it, whether you agree or not, is it's not our job in the Optimized Coach to convince coaches it's a good idea to market their business. We are here to help you refine the marketing strategy or install a marketing strategy. But if you are making content, you have a marketing strategy. It's like when clients come to you as a coach and they say, I just need a meal plan. Well, you have a fucking meal plan, bro. Did you eat yesterday? Yeah, then you have a fucking meal plan. It's just not the best one for you. If you are making content, you have a content strategy. It just might not be the one that works for you. So the way I see it is, if you are not making content, it's not my job to convince you. And that makes you a bad fit. And that means I say, you guessed it, no. Law number 4 is the law of candor. Now, in basic terms, be honest about a flaw and people will trust you so much fucking faster. We all know that social media is a sea of fake positives, but if you learn to share your fuck ups along the way, what will happen is you just humanize yourself. And as such, you separate yourself from, in our industry, the chicken, broccoli, and rice eating fucking robots that don't appear to ever drop the ball, miss a meal, miss a workout, or anything in between. So, short story from me on this one. I was presenting last year in front of a random group of, I think, about 70, 80 coaches at PerformX Live. Now, I could have just hit them with the highlight reel of how great the OC is, how great I am, and how we can help them make shitloads of money. Instead, I opened that hour-long presentation by talking about a time where I had 4 maxed out credit cards, I'd been going through a divorce, had lost like a large chunk of my personal training clients due to the aforementioned problems, and then got to the point where I tried to kill myself, which is a surefire way to flatten a crowd, I'll tell you that right now. But in that room, this is going back to the when they zig, you zag. There was all the people in the industry in that room, all presenting on different things, all zigging, all standing there and peacocking and saying how great they are and how amazing their business is. And let's be honest, side note, if anyone in the room's allowed to peacock, is the guy who's fucking called Matt Peacock, let's be honest. Instead, I zagged. So they zigged, they peacocked, they positioned and they postured. I zagged and said, yo, I fucked up real big. And that's why I started the business, and that's why this business exists. And in doing so, really humanized myself to the audience by just telling a story that no one else in the room can tell. And in doing that, what then happened is we ended up bringing on a bunch of the people, the 70 people that were there. We've had a good few of them turn into clients because I humanized me in the business. But the best part is this, there was no pitch. I didn't end that presentation with here's a special discount code, here's how to sign up. I was like, cool, if anyone wants to chat, give me a shout. If not, thank you for listening to my story. You've made me feel a lot better today. Give me a shout if you need some help. Left it like that. Bam! We have some clients. Why? When they zig, you zag, brother. Law number 5 is the law of success. And what this really means is success makes people sloppy. Don't be that guy. The real nugget in this law is this one though. It's keep doing what got you here and keep stacking on top of that. The second that you coast or assume that you've made it, you will start sliding backwards. And I know that because it happened to me over and over and over again. When I was a coach for a long time, I was stuck on this merry-go-round of fucking doom. And I've seen so many coaches be there too, where it would start like this. I would realize that I needed clients. I'd have a few people leave, whatever it was, I needed some clients. I would then start doing all the marketing activities that I knew I needed to do to gain new clients. And then lo and behold, Steven, Sandra, and fucking Susan all signed up in a month. And you're like, great, we've had a good month. And you sign up 3 new clients this month, next month, and the next month. 3 months of 3 new clients, everyone's fucking happy, hunky-dory, a new iPhone, and a couple extra meals out. Then what would happen subconsciously is I would stop doing the things that got me Steven, Sandra, and Susan. I don't know why, and I didn't even think I was doing it. And then fucking 3 other people would leave. And Then I would realize, oh fuck, I've had another bad month. Then I would go back onto the merry-go-round and I would do the things again, and then lo and behold, round and around we went, and I couldn't fucking work it out. And it wasn't until, I don't know who said this sentence to me, so I can't credit them, but a mentor or a guide or someone along the way said, "Why do you only ever hunt when you're hungry?" I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, well, you seem to go doing all the marketing activity when you need new clients, but you don't seem to do it any other time. And that hit me like a ton of fucking bricks. All right, you're absolutely right. And what I learned was I needed to continue to sustain the marketing activities even when Steve and Sandra and Susan weren't fucking leaving. And I did. And that came from building systems that allowed me to do them with less effort. I think if I'm completely honest with myself, what was going wrong was the systems for doing all that marketing activity were difficult. They were really heavy manual labor. And as a result, I would just put them down. I kept doing it. I started a better system for managing leads, getting leads, and content production. And lo and behold, now your fucking Steven Sanders and Susans were signing up every single month. If you're in that same position, it could well be that this law is the one that you need to focus on. Okay, second from last is the law of failure. Here's the punchline here. Failure is feedback. It's not your fucking funeral, but coaches act like it is. Listen, you're going to run bad campaigns. You're going to lose clients. It's all part of the process. The faster that you can drop what's not working, it will allow you to faster find what is or will working. But in order for you to do that, you need to keep experimenting and stay in the game. I know that I've had my fair share of failures as a coach. And I know that the coaches that we work with feel exactly the same things. Like I had a coach this morning message that she hadn't had the best last month. She showed me her numbers and they weren't amazing. They weren't awful, but she was making out like they were terrible. And I said to her, show me numbers. And she broke them down into gross and MRR. And she was focusing on MRR. Her MRR wasn't lovely, but her gross was as good as it's ever been, really. And I said to her, the very first thing we need to do here is zoom out and look at the whole painting, because the way you're looking at it just now is looking through a straw at the bottom right-hand corner of this painting that you fucked one brush stroke and saying that the whole thing is ruined. When in actual fact, it's just some of your best fucking work, but you made a small mistake that likely no one else will notice. So I think the goal here is if you don't stop, you can't lose. You just need to keep experimenting. And that's where I think a lot of people come into things like the Optimized Coach or other mentorships. I know I used to go into them expecting them to be a list of things to do, a list of like great systems for X, Y, and Z. And the OC is that, but it's also a list of here's what not to do so that you can avoid the fuck ups that I made along the way. And a mentor said to me, Luke, shout out Luke Lehman from Muscle Nerds, that everything works until it doesn't. Which is such a freeing sentence because it's like, it's working just now, eventually won't. It's not you. You didn't fuck it. It's just, it stopped working. The market buys in different ways. We have recessions and we have booms and we have bear periods and all this stuff. When that stuff happens, you need to evolve, adapt, pivot, and adjust what you're doing. We've learned that the hard way and we teach it back so that you don't have to learn it the hard way. Okay, coach, we made it. Law number 7, the final one, the law of resources, which is my personal favorite, best for last. Basically what this one's saying is, growth needs fuel. Now in the book, it's all about money here, but in my opinion, it's bigger than money. It's about momentum, and momentum comes from leveraging whatever the hell it is in terms of resources that you've already got, which is more than you think. You're probably not broke. You're just probably underutilized. Now I know I was underutilized. You've got assets in your business the way I had, just waiting to be used and currently not being. There's gathering dust, social proof, experience, followers, clients, energy, the list goes on. But you're leaving them on the table. You don't need cash. You need a compounding engine for making more cash. It's not more ads, it's more efficiency per input. Think like this, fewer nice ideas and more leveraged action. Now, our Lord and Savior, Alex Hormozi, has this cool philosophy that kind of nails this. It is basically a mindset of resourcefulness, efficiency, practicality, whatever you want to call it in business. Now, long story short, he says, use what you already have, which is actually where our core mantra in the Optimized Coach, close the loop, came from. No matter where you're at, you can whinge that you don't have money, ad, spend, social proof, experience. Like every single coach can give you a list as long as they're fucking arm of the things that they don't have, that they need to have or could have to get them to grow faster. But actually, every single coach also has a list as long as their other arm of stuff that will absolutely drive them forward. And close the loop is as simple as this. Use what you've got and take action. Fast action, make some decisions. And if you can make decisions to use those things fast, you'll find, like me, with absolutely zero fucking hesitation, your business will thank you in the form of dollar bills, y'all. And to conclude, right, I read this book again, just so I could make this video and make it properly. And the things that I took from the book this time around were actually very different to the things that I took from it 10 years ago as a gym floor PT. So no matter who you are, gym floor PT, just starting out, online coach, established brand, it doesn't matter. There is something for everyone in this book. And I genuinely think it is worth a space on your nicely color coordinated bookshelf like mine, no matter who you are. The good news, for those of you who will actually read it, is if you're like me and you fucking hate big books, this book is 130 pages long. It's more of a pamphlet. And I'll finish by saying this. There are pictures. If you're like me and you need pictures to keep you interested. So listen, grab it, check it out, rewatch this and write down the laws. But make sure you apply something, because this has been fun, but this is only fun for a while. What's more fun is you actually actioning it and making some more money. Last point. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, because you ain't going to find more of these videos by accident. See you on the next one. Let's go.